Hello there, everyone. Easter is in a little over a week. So I'm starting to decide what I want to have for Easter, and I'm going to do a nice smoked ham. Now, the way I'm going to show you how to do this is probably the easiest way that you can possibly cook a ham, and it's going to be in a crock pot. Sometimes we just have so many other things to make, like side dishes, that it's just so much more convenient that way. And it's an absolutely delicious recipe. So this ham was the smallest one I could find at my local grocery store, and it's a little over 8 pounds. So I'm going to cut this and freeze the other half, or the other section that I don't use, so that it can fit in my crock pot. So I always get a smoked ham because that's my preference. But you can get a spiral ham, you can get any type of ham you want. But what we're going to do is you can either cook it long or quicker. So a 4 to 6 versus an 8 to 10 or an 8. So depending on what time you're going to eat on Easter, you can cook it the night before and it could still stay warm if you're going to eat early. So I'm going to show you how to make this wonderful ham recipe. Thank you. As you can see, these are the only ingredients you're going to need. Now I'm going to cut my ham in half because it's a little over 8 pounds. The recipe is for like a 6-pound ham. So I'm going to kind of alter the amounts of the ingredients a little, but I will give you the correct recipe under the description of the amounts that go into making a 6-pound ham. And you can put a little extra, a little less, however you want to do it. So you're going to have brown sugar, maple syrup, pineapple chunks, which I will cut those up, and a 6-pound ham and some maple syrup. But you can alter it any way you need to. This is the shank part of the ham, and it has like skin on it. It's a fresh smoked ham, and that's why I always buy this type of ham, because it's fresh smoked, and I just love them. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this ham so I can fit it in my crock pot. So 2 reasons I'm cutting it down. Obviously the first reason is so that it will fit in my crock pot. And the second reason is there is no way that we are going to have all this ham. There's just no way. And I'm making this before Easter so I can show you. So we're going to cut this in half. Okay, our first step is we're going to take half of the brown sugar and coat it in the bottom of our crock pot. And normally this would be 3 cups of brown sugar for an 8-pound ham, but I'm not using one that big. So I'm putting 2 cups of sugar all together in my recipe. So half of that, which is about 1 cup, will go in the bottom. And my ham has a bone in it, so I had to cut around the bone, which you won't have to do if you use a boneless ham or a spiral. So if you're using a spiral ham, what you're going to want to do is pull it apart, and I've cut this so I can pour over the maple syrup. And normally this would be like a half a cup of maple syrup, but I'm only using a quarter. So you want to get it inside those little grooves. And then after that, you're going to pour in your 20-ounce can of pineapple, and you want to leave the juice in it. So I cut up these to chunks and I poured it back in the can. You're just going to pour everything over. And then your last thing is you're just going to put the rest of the brown sugar on top. You're just going to put it all over. So I'm using, like I said, only 2 cups of brown sugar because my ham it's about probably, I'm guessing about 4.5 pounds since I cut that in half. And you don't have to add water. You don't have to add anything. It's got the pineapple juice in it. So now we're going to put the lid on, and I'm going to set mine for the 4-hour because it's the middle of the afternoon, and like you can choose whichever temp you want. So we'll see you in about 4 hours. Here we are. It's been cooking 5 hours and 15 minutes, so let's give it a try. It's ready. Let's give it a try. I made some cornbread to go with it. And I also made some fried cabbage yesterday that if I wanted to have it go with this, it would go really good with it. So this cooked 5 hours and 15 minutes. I did have it set up to go for 4, but I decided I wanted it a little more tender. So you can cook it for any time you want, a longer time, a shorter time, all depending on when you want to eat. So this is really tender. And so let's try the pineapple first. Really good. And here's some of the ham. Perfect flavor. There was nothing added to this ham as far as seasoning goes. No pepper, no salt, and it's perfect. All we added was the ingredients: the maple syrup, the brown sugar, and the pineapple with the pineapple juice, and it turned out really good. So all you have to do is put everything in, turn it on, and walk away for 4 to 8 hours, depending on how long. It's really no stress. So if you have other sides you want to make for Easter, this one is the easiest and the largest part of the meal, and it will be the easiest. So I hope you give this a try, and I hope it turns out wonderful for you.